אנחנו נשארים עם ארצות הברית. אתמול התקשר סוף סוף הנשיא ג'ו ביידן לברך את נתניהו על ניצחונו בבחירות. אנחנו רוצים לדבר על זה ועל עניינים נוספים, ומצטרף אלינו עכשיו בריאיון מיוחד מגיש Fox News, פיט הגסט, Fox News anchor. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So Benjamin Netanyahu is back on the prime minister's chair. How do you explain President Biden's delay in giving a congratulations call to Netanyahu?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. The Democrats in America have been actively willing to undermine Bibi Netanyahu and Likud because they have very different priorities as it pertains to the relationship between the United States and Israel. I want to personally give a huge congratulations to Bibi Netanyahu for his resolute commitment to fighting through we have a deep state in America. There's a deep state in Israel as well. He had to fight through that and a media, except for Channel 14, that sought to his destruction. So the commitment he had to leading the state of Israel is remarkable. A testament to his principles, but also his political acumen. And I think Israel is far better off having him back in the helm as prime minister. But this administration, Joe Biden and the folks that really are behind Joe Biden running things, take a very different view of Israel than the Trump administration. And the Trump administration was much more supportive of Bibi Netanyahu and the actions he wanted to take. Of course, moving the embassy to Jerusalem was one of them, amongst many. And unfortunately, Joe Biden doesn't back Israel the way that Donald Trump did. And you see that in his unwillingness to reach out to Bibi Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm. Now, how is this current government seeing this right-wing new coalition in your eyes?
Well, I think there's, from the United States perspective, there's been a lot of confusion about Israeli politics and the 4 or 5 elections it took to form a government, and Bibi Netanyahu being so close to it, and then other former members of his party forming a temporary power-sharing government. There was a lot of confusion. And then, of course, the indictments and investigations into Bibi Netanyahu. But people I kept in touch with in Israel reminded me, they said, this government is likely doomed to fall and to fail. And what has been done to Bibi Netanyahu, the people, your viewers, understand is unfair. So even though there are indictments and investigations and accusations of nonsense, just like Russia was nonsense against Donald Trump, it's been proven in the United States that everything related to Russia, to Donald Trump, was a hoax. It was made up by his political opponents. And if you're watching from the outside, that's hard to see. I know that because we cover it every day. But people who watch Israeli politics closely said, you watch, Bibi Netanyahu will be back and as strong as ever. And this may be the strongest right-of-center government Israel's ever had at a time when it very much needs it, because it doesn't have the same kind of ally in the United States with this administration that it did under Donald Trump. And you still have the desire of the Biden administration to seek an Iran deal. And Bibi Netanyahu represents someone who's going to put Israel first. And I think you see that in the fact that he's going to be able to form a government and be the next prime minister.
Interesting. And you mentioned President Donald Trump. He is going to declare he'll run from presidency again. Do you think he has a chance?
Oh, yes. No doubt about it. Donald Trump is the leader of the Republican Party in America. No one else is even close. And this midterm election is going to be a disaster for Democrats. They're going to lose seats in the House and the Senate. Joe Biden will be a lame duck president. Most of his own party doesn't want him to run for re-election. He's very unpopular across the country, and the policies he's advocating for are unpopular. Donald Trump will seize on that. I think he'll announce soon for president. The question is, who else will attempt to run on the Republican side? The big question is whether the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, will attempt to run. If he did, there'll be a clash. But I think if you look at it right now, The Republican Party is Donald Trump's party. He's totally remade it into an America First party. A lot of the candidates that will win on Tuesday are candidates hand-selected by Donald Trump. And so, yes, he has a shot to win. It's much like Bibi Netanyahu, people saying he can't come back. There are plenty of people who don't like Donald Trump. We know that. But the media in this country is going to come after any Republican. Make no mistake about it, especially a Republican that's popular these days. And so they're going to come after Donald Trump. The deep state's going to come after Donald Trump. Certainly the Democrats are going to come after Donald Trump. But the people support him at the base level. So I think the nomination is his to be had. And anything can happen in a general election, especially now that we know that Russia was a hoax from the beginning. And if he were to become president, again, now he knows how Washington works. And I think it'd be even more dangerous for people who want to protect the status quo.
Mm-hmm. So Pete, how do you see the outcome of these midterms?
These midterms are going to be an absolute rejection of the failed policies of the modern Democrat Party. Joe Biden decided to ignore common sense, which would mean you're trying to improve people's lives. That's common sense. And instead, he decided from almost the beginning he took over that he was going to side with the hard left, the socialist left of his party. And so they added trillions and trillions of new spending. He focused on things like, the COVID mandates, of course, were a big part of that. And then climate change legislation, social justice activism, and really the Squad, which is a socialist group in the House, and Bernie Sanders, who's a socialist, he really moved in their direction to try to keep criticism away. At the same time, you've got prosecutors in certain states in America letting criminals go free. You've got a border that's wide open in our southern border. Imagine, Israel has a very effective border fence that stopped a lot of the suicide bombers that were coming across for years during intifadas.
Yes.
We have a wide open southern border. 5 million people have crossed during Biden's term. You've got parents have woken up to the radicalism being taught in schools in America. America's schools are captured by the hard left in what they're teaching. And then inflation. The amount of money that they've spent is costing everybody more every single day. And Joe Biden went at fossil fuel industries, at energy, and trying to say that we're going to have a green future, when the reality is we're still very reliant on traditional forms of energy. So this is, I've called it the sanity election. I think voters are voting for sanity, for people who say that men can't be pregnant, because that's one of the things the left is pushing through their transgender policies. So this will be a rejection of a failed governing class and an opportunity for Republicans to show an alternative and really a preview for what the 2024 election could look like.
Pete Haggist, Fox News, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you, and God bless Channel 14. Thank you for what you're doing in Israel to provide another voice, the other side of the conversation that has been missing for so long. We salute you here at Fox News Channel 14 for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.